Dante, A Journey into Hell. Midway upon the journey of our life, I found myself within a dark forest. Thus begins one of the most intense journeys in the history of literature. A journey into the heart of fear, a descent into human pain, a map of the soul written in fire. Dante Alighieri didn't just imagine hell. He walked through it. He listened. And since then, no one has ever seen suffering the same way. What is Dante's hell? Hell is not a meaningless pit of lava. It is a system of moral justice, divided into 9 circles. Each one corresponds to a different sin, and every punishment reflects the very nature of the sin committed. Dante tells us, there is no pain without cause, no punishment without a story. And that is why we descend to understand. The descent, the circles. Guided by the poet Virgil, Dante travels through each circle of hell. Each one is a lesson carved in stone and fire. First circle, limbo. Here dwell the unbaptized and the wise of the ancient world. There is no physical punishment, only a serene sorrow. The sadness of never having known revealed faith. Among them are Homer, Horace, Ovid and Solomon. Second circle, the lustful. They are swept up by eternal winds, just like their disordered passions in life. It is love without control, spinning endlessly. Paolo and Francesca appear in one of the most touching passages. 2 lovers killed for their sin, condemned to see but never touch each other for all eternity. Third circle, the gluttonous. Filthy rain falls without end. In the mud wallow those who lived only for food and drink. Cerberus, the 3-headed dog, watches over them and tears them apart. Fourth circle, the greedy and the wasteful. They push massive weights in opposite directions, clashing over and over. No one wins. No one advances. It's the perfect image of useless greed. Some were clerics who loved gold more than virtue. Fifth circle, the wrathful and the slothful. The wrathful fight each other endlessly upon the river Styx. The slothful lie beneath the water, barely visible, drowned by their own inaction. Sixth circle, the heretics. Trapped in burning tombs, they scream truths no one listens to anymore. Florentines, emperors, philosophers, punished not for doubting, but for teaching doctrines contrary to the faith. Seventh circle, the violent, divided into 3 rings. The violent against others, submerged in boiling blood. The suicides, turned into twisted trees that bleed when broken. Dante speaks to one of them, Pier della Vigna. The blasphemers and sodomites, walking under a rain of fire on burning sand. Brunetto Latini, Dante's teacher, appears here in an encounter full of respect and sorrow. Eighth circle, the fraudulent. Here, all forms of deception are punished. There are 10 ditches: panders, fortune-tellers, hypocrites, thieves, false counselors. Ulysses appears here, not as a hero, but as a symbol of man who puts boundless knowledge above the divine. His speech is one of the most memorable. He speaks of the human desire to go beyond, even into ruin. Ninth circle, the traitors. Frozen in ice. There is no fire at the bottom of hell, only absence of love. There lies Lucifer, immense, with dark wings stirring the frozen air. In his 3 mouths he eternally chews Judas, Brutus, and Cassius, the ultimate traitors. It is a silence that chills the soul, an ending that doesn't scream, it whispers and hurts. Symbolism. Dante didn't describe monsters for fun. Every creature, every landscape, every torment has meaning. Hell is a mirror, a distorted one perhaps, but a mirror nonetheless. There are the lustful, dragged by winds that never stop. Isn't that what we feel in the face of passions that consume us without control? There are the gluttonous, buried in mud, in a world spinning between endless consumption and permanent dissatisfaction. The wrathful strike each other without end. Isn't that Twitter? The traitors are frozen, because the worst evil isn't fire, it's indifference. The total absence of love, of compassion, of connection. And Ulysses, the great Ulysses, was not punished for being a hero, but for placing intellect above all morality, as if knowledge were excuse enough to do anything. Isn't that something we hear in many speeches today? Dante didn't write fantasy. He wrote reality in symbols. And that's why his hell still speaks to us. Because it doesn't matter whether you believe or not. At some point, we've all stepped into one of its circles. But hell is not the end. Dante and Virgil move forward. They emerge through a crack. They see the sky, and there begins the ascent. Because this work is not a sentence. It's a path. A journey of the soul that hits bottom in order to rise. Dante didn't just write a poem. He gave us a compass, a warning, a hope.